Tonight on News 5 Live, a BDF soldier is run over and dragged to his death in a hit-and-run on the Philip Colson Highway. Shine takes on the Briceño administration on inflation, immigration, and youth passport fees. And gold medalist Dimitri Myers returned from the Carifta Games to a warm welcome. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
1. Introducing DigiOne Bundles. Bundle your home internet, mobile, home phone, and DigiTV services. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value. DigiOne. Digi, our national telecom.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Every day, we access energy for cooling, lighting, and powering our electrical appliances and devices at work and at home. During cooler months, we rely less on cooling appliances such as fans and air conditioners. However, during warmer months, as the temperature and humidity rises, we use more energy to cool our spaces, and our appliances and electrical devices work harder than they do during the rest of the year. When the months become hotter, let's all practice energy conservation. Here are a few changes that you can make to manage your energy use. Check that all appliances and electrical devices are working efficiently. Turn lights off when not in the room. Unplug chargers, appliances when not in use. Turn off fans and TVs. Use energy-saving light bulbs such as LEDs. And look for the Energy Star products when purchasing appliances and electrical devices. These easy changes can reduce energy use and costs. You can also monitor your energy use during the month by reading your meter and calculating the reading using BEL's bill calculator on our mobile app or by visiting our website. Let's all save energy.
The last time the Orange Walk Running Rebels were at the Civic Center, they put a beating on our outside brother who were trying to defend the city. But it's now time that big brother, your Bennett's Belize Hurricanes, avenge this thrashing for our siblings and make the rebels respect the city.
Let's go. All around.
This Friday night, April 14th at the Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp, basketball is back from its Easter break when the #1 team in the BEBL, Bennett's Belize Hurricanes, goes up against the hottest team in the land, the Orange Walk Running Rebels, where your Hurricanes is about to put a smacking on running pebbles, rebels. This game may be a finals preview. It gets no bigger than this, where your lengthy team, Bennett's Belize Hurricanes, led by the tall Chris Fraser, Jamel Harris, Alex Kakama, Kirk Shabba Smith Jr., Greg Buckley and Marquise Cunningham, go up against the wide Orange Walk Running Rebels, led by Big Brian Beso White, Elvis Oliveira, and Matthew Young, in a battle dub that's length versus width. The bad boys are back! Bring out the entire family this Friday night at the Belize Civic Center to see your city favorite, Bennett's Belize Hurricanes versus the Orange Walk Running Rebels in a battle for the #1 seat.
Hurricanes are one big family.
The halftime show will feature a half-court shot to win $4,000. Remember to sign up for the Serena Bay Villas First 5 $4,000 contest. Primary schoolers and high schoolers, bring out your posters and compete for the $500 prize. Lots of phone and tablet giveaways, courtesy of Smart and Cellular World. The after party will be at Thirsty Thursdays. Sponsors.
Yo, respect the city. Love the game. Family. Belize Hurricanes. Hurricanes are one big family.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, April 14th. I am Annalyn Apolonio. A Belize Defense Force soldier lost his life in a hit-and-run on the Philip Golson Highway in Ladyville. Reports are that just before 10 p.m. on Thursday, 38-year-old Hector Cho was lying on the highway motionless when a concerned motorist stopped and exited his vehicle to inform another motorist of a body on the road. At the same time, a car drove by and hit Cho, dragging him about 50 feet from where he was seen lying. That vehicle then sped off in the direction of Belize City. Cho was transported to KHMH where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Cho joined the Belize Defense Force back in October 2003. He was posted to the Air Wing as a cook up until the time of his death. Cho was also a member of the Easy Riders Motorcycle Club in Orange Walk. Today we spoke by phone with Rene Reyes, the president of the Easy Riders Motorcycle Club. He told us about the soldier's passion for living life and riding motorbikes.
I got to meet him because of a fellow brother that is also in our club. He's also in the military, which is the vice president, and he recommended his membership coming into the club. Since the beginning, because we go through processes in entering our club, he was first a prospect, and which he showed really a big interest, 100% interest to strive to be a member, which he did complete this year. And he really proved himself, and that is what I saw something different in Hector. That Hector had a big passion in riding and being a biker. No, I received the news in wee hours of which was almost it was in the midnight from our vice president, the same guy that recommended him to come in the club. he told us the devastating news because they were based, well, they work in the same company at the BDF at the Price Barrack. Well, my initial reaction is that I did not believe it. I am in disbelief because we already have another comrade that we will have to bury because we had the same thing, a previous brother that was a PDF also. So
who was that?
We are really shocked. That was Mr. Victor Martin.
The controversy surrounding a recent cabinet decision to put in place specific measures for visitors arriving from Haiti and Jamaica continues. The move by the Briceño administration to invoke a particular article within the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas has been met with strong criticism from the opposition, which cites a 2013 decision by the Caribbean Court of Justice in the case of Shanika Myrie in respect of a similar matter. In the context of free movement within the Caribbean community, opposition leader Shine Barrow says that notwithstanding the likelihood of human trafficking, government should have gone about the matter differently in consideration of the various treaties that have been signed under CARICOM.
In successive governments have all been strong proponents of CARICOM. CARICOM is a community. We have agreements. The ultimate objective is regional integration and a single market economy. So the things that we do, the decisions that we make, have to be consistent with that agreement, with that community. And denying the Haitians their rights that are in those agreements is a rank violation, and it is not just a political statement that I'm making. This has been tested and adjudicated at the CCJ in the case of Shanika Myrie. It is not just the UDP that is saying it. There are legal minds in Belize, there are people in Jamaica and other CARICOM nations, and Jamaica is not as bad as with the Haitians, where you're requiring a visa for people that under the treaties that we have with CARICOM, it is all about free movement. It is all about a CARICOM national can vote in Belizean elections. That is what all of the heads of states throughout successive governments have come together to agree. I accept that there is a problem with human smuggling, but again, if you have agreed, as all successive Belizean governments have, to the importance of CARICOM, then you cannot arbitrarily violate the treaties, regardless of whatever domestic issue you may have. Call an urgent meeting. I don't believe that it is in the interest of the community that heads of states start making unilateral decisions that violate the treaty.
Minister of Human Development Dolores Balderramos Garcia also chimed in on the implementation of a visa requirement for Haitian nationals. The Briceño administration has reported that there is a trend which indicates that persons are transiting through Belize to the United States and that government is invoking a clause within the Treaty of Chaguaramas to impose the visa requirement. Minister Balderramos Garcia sums it up to human trafficking and the need to stem this criminal activity.
There is a very thin line between smuggling and trafficking. The definition of smuggling would be you're moving people for a fee. Now, trafficking is where you involve any aspect of exploitation. So I would want to say that there's trafficking going on, because if you are charging people thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to go illegally into the United States, and there's no even guarantee, and it is an international ring of that kind of people movement, there has to be human trafficking involved. And my own input because the Prime Minister has spoken to it, and also the Minister of Agriculture. My own input is that where there is exploitation of people, we have a responsibility as a government to act. Now, with the CARICOM rules of free movement, we have to invoke one of the clauses of the Treaty of Chaguaramas to make sure that we impose a visa requirement for Haitians, because the vast majority of the people being moved are Haitian. I think the leader of the opposition must know that where the kinds of numbers of CARICOM nationals are being moved through Belize, and they come in legally, but then they disappear. What, they disappear into thin air? No, we know exactly what is happening.
The steep increase in the cost of the new e-passport is also a point of contention for the opposition, which has, in a release issued on April 13th, disapproved of the sudden price hike. According to opposition leader Shine Barrow, the Briceño administration is tone deaf and is out of touch with the economic realities of the average Belizean citizen.
You have a millionaire cabinet, so 400% increase for passport. Oh, that's nothing. You know, again, taxes on fuel, highest ever. Who cares about that? Prime Minister buy one $500,000 vehicle and burn all the gas in the world. There is no empathy, there is no compassion, and it is a betrayal of their platform, because they came into government with Plan Belize as a government that would fight poverty. They said that the UDP was not doing enough to fight poverty, and their solution to fighting poverty is to misreport the numbers. The pathway to getting a passport should not increase by 400%. You know, maybe some increase, fine, but 400%? Are we realizing what is happening in this country?
In a cabinet brief issued earlier this week, it was announced that the task force headed by the Minister of Agriculture to address the rampant issue of price gouging will be meeting with importers within the Indian community. This comes after a recent sit-down with business owners within the Chinese community who engage in wholesaling and retailing various commodities. According to Minister Jose Abelardo Mai, a meeting has been set for Monday to discuss with Indian importers a possible solution to the massive overcharge that is currently taking place.
We met with the Chinese community, the shop owners, the retailers. A lot of them are retailers and wholesalers, but they are not importers. The majority of the importers are the Indians. We refer to them as the Hindus. They are the larger importers. Now, it's easy to pass the buck and say, oh, I'm not gouging. I'm just reacting to the price I'm being sold. And so they are saying we need to meet with the importers, and that is exactly what our team is doing this week. They are planning a meeting with the importers, one, and two, on Monday, my CEO and my the director of supplies control is meeting with the public service, because they are the ones who asked them, who requested to be included and expressed desire to help in trying to curb the supposedly gouging. And so we will meet on Monday to plan how we move with that, and plan even the training of the public servants who will be policing the stores.
Earlier today, opposition leader Barrow also took aim at Prime Minister John Briceño. According to Shine, little has been done by the People's United Party government to address the real problem behind price gouging. Barrow maintains that the exorbitant cost of fuel is what continues to encourage price gouging. This, he said, comes long after the initial shock felt at the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict a year ago.
The problem as to price gouging that we are seeing is merely a symptom. The actual disease is the highest cost of fuel ever. And I do not expect that the Prime Minister, who either himself or his family has interests in many gas stations across the country, would do anything to cut the cost of fuel. And I really think it's a question that the media needs to put to him directly. I think in the interest of transparency and accountability, we need to see what type of profits these companies that are related to the Prime Minister are making, and that is a serious question to be put to him. If the Prime Minister is in the fuel business himself, I hear now that his family controls all the fuel that they've taken over from Puma, whoever was the designate, that they now control all the fuel. Then why would they cut the taxes? Why would they cut the fuel and bring it to the below $10 that John Briceño, as leader of the opposition, claimed was possible? I don't think it will ever happen.
Coming up, Ruth Schumann is elected as the new national president of BNTU. Find out the details when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these you might be partakers of the divine nature." Dr. Donald Gray Bornhouse tells a story of the wife of a French pastor who had made a promise box. She wrote out in French more than 200 promises and put them in the box. Through the years, this box was used by the family to teach them to trust in the Lord. Later, during the war, the only food they had was messes of potato peelings from a local restaurant. Her children became emaciated and they cried to her for food. In one of her more tragic moments, she turned to the promise box in desperation and prayed for a single promise to meet her needs. Being blinded by her tears, she reached out for the promise box and accidentally knocked it over. The promises showered down all around her, and she suddenly realized in that moment of desperation that all the promises of God were for her and only needed to be claimed by faith. If you're going through a trial right now, turn to God and the Bible, God's promise box, and you will find peace and hope. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Adopting a second child was our best decision ever. Now our daughter Alexis has a little brother to play with.
Know that we have our son, our family is complete.
Contact the Department of Human Services and find out how you can become a foster or adoptive parent and be that heart of gold.
My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information. Social Security at your fingertips. My Social Security.
Every day, we access energy for cooling, lighting, and powering our electrical appliances and devices at work and at home. During cooler months, we rely less on cooling appliances such as fans and air conditioners. However, during warmer months, as the temperature and humidity rises, we use more energy to cool our spaces, and our appliances and electrical devices work harder than they do during the rest of the year. When the months become hotter, let's all practice energy conservation. Here are a few changes that you can make to manage your energy use. Check that all appliances and electrical devices are working efficiently. Turn lights off when not in the room. Unplug chargers, appliances when not in use. Turn off fans and TVs. Use energy-saving light bulbs such as LEDs. And look for the Energy Star products when purchasing appliances and electrical devices. These easy changes can reduce energy use and costs. You can also monitor your energy use during the month by reading your meter and calculating the reading using BEL's bill calculator on our mobile app or by visiting our website. Let's all save energy.
Ruth Schumann is the new president for the Belize National Teachers Union. The president-elect was chosen during the 53rd National Convention under the theme BNTU, One Union, One Mission, One Voice. The former national secretary campaigned against two other candidates. 662 votes were cast by the teachers to determine the next National Executive Council for the Firebrand Union. Counting began after 6 and the results were announced around 8 p.m. on Thursday. This was followed by Schumann's statement as president-elect of the BNTU.
Shina Ifenyemi, 226 votes. Ray Martinez, 71 votes. Ruth Schumann, 356 votes, which makes Ruth Schumann our president.
My platform came from the idea of education. We are educators, and the times have changed. I think the pandemic taught the whole world a lesson, and after every pandemic, things change. BNTU as well has set, our past leaders have set a very solid foundation for us, and it's up to us now to continue building on that. And one of the most important areas for me is to train, have succession plans, educate, so that we are properly equipped when we need to address those who we negotiate with. That's one area that I was really coming with. Another is to build a network, build relationships. We should not be adversaries with those who we need to work with, but we need to work together for the benefit of the membership who we represent, so that we can get the best possible outcomes out of these negotiations. For me, those are very important areas that, you know, I spoke to my teachers about, and I guess they understood where I was coming from.
Jorge Mejia was elected as the vice president of the National Executive with 402 votes. Replacing Schumann as national secretary was Bay Rivas, who got 341 votes. The media has for years been a partner providing a platform for the union to get its message across to the nation. During her first interview following the resounding victory, the incoming BNTU president spoke of the relationship with the media and the serious work that must be done.
I love the media. I've worked with the media. But I think the media is to be used accordingly. And I think BNTU has a very good relationship with the media, but the business of BNTU is the business of BNTU. And for me to reach to my membership, I didn't need the media. I needed the one-on-one. And to me, that was very important, to be able to communicate with my members in my own way through the means that BNTU provides, because that shows that we are connecting with our members. I'll go to the media when it's necessary to go, and I will keep the business of the union within the business of the union. The whole excitement of the campaign is over, but we have serious work to do. We have a pension reform that is right around, it's hitting us. We need to sit down and start preparing for these issues. We have to look at tax reform. We have to look at the amendments necessary in the Education Rules, the Education Act. We have to seriously think about the functions of the Teaching Service Commission and how we can step it up to ensure that teachers are further protected through legislation. So for my membership, we have a lot of work to do.
A fire on Vernon Street this afternoon destroyed as many as 3 houses. A resident who spoke with News 5 off camera told us that she was alerted to the blaze when a family member informed her that a wooden structure belonging to her sister was being consumed by flames that were already spreading to an adjacent property. When we arrived on the scene, firefighters were still in the process of extinguishing the blaze.
All I could recall was my daughter came and said, "Mommy, the house behind my auntie's house is on fire." Like, okay. So I rushed outside and I went to see it, and it was already on fire. So I hook up the hose and start spraying the water myself, because I'm no fireman, but I really didn't want my sister's house to caught on fire. And eventually some neighbor came to assist us, and they tried to out it, but the fire was bigger than us. It spread. It started from the neighbor house and spread over to our house and the neighbor house afterwards. And eventually it was moving over to my house too. My first instinct was to out the fire, because my kids are here, my mom is here, and my sister's house was brand new and we had to try and out it ourselves, but eventually the fire truck came after and kind of out the fire.
Talk to us about the extent of damages to your aunt's house. Your sister's house, sorry. You may not be able to account for the other victims or what have you, but perhaps you could discuss what you know happened with your sister's house, if it's totaled or what have you.
It is total. It started from the window that started getting burned, and it moved on to the entire house. Although we were in there trying to out the fire, but it still spread and severely burned every single thing, whole house completed.
Now, I noticed that the ambulance would have taken away someone from here who may have had some kind of health complications. To the best of your knowledge, could you share with us what happened there?
Well, that is the owner of the house, and after the house got destroyed by Hurricane Lisa, she tried her best to raise her own fund and build back her house, and now the fire came and destroyed it.
The dry season has brought with it several wildfires that have been reported in Western Belize District. We have reported of fires that have been burning in the vicinity of Gracie Rock, near mile 20 on the George Price Highway, as well as other infernos that have been recorded in the vicinity of the Belize Zoo. According to Chief Met Officer Ronald Gordon, notwithstanding a fire risk forecast, these events are to be expected at this time of year.
We do a fire risk forecast during the dry season, and we provide the decision makers, especially the forest department, in terms of the risk of forest fires. And we expect that this to happen, and these conditions during the dry season to sort of enhance the forest fires, and that's what we're seeing. It's typical for this time of the year, no?
So people need to just
keep the areas around their place clean and wet and whatever?
Well, it's not really my area of expertise to provide that advice, but certainly those are common sense measures that people can take to avoid it.
After the break, will overcrowding still be a problem when transportation reform sets in? We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Explore the great outdoors with Benny's Quality and Savings.
The last time we visited Miss Francesca Howers was to deliver the exciting news that she was chosen to receive a home sponsored by SMART for its 18th anniversary through the Hand in Hand Ministries housing program. Since then, she has actively been participating in attending Saturday sessions to improve her life skills, cleared her property for its foundation and construction of her home, and has assisted in the construction of a home for another recipient of Hand in Hand housing program. All these activities are to foster a more responsible, responsive citizen in our community.
Nestled away in the quaint Belize River Valley, Black Orchid's Panda River Restaurant offers a variety of great dining areas and experiences with an excellent variety of local and international cuisine, with healthy meal options for vegans and those with health concerns. Your delectable dining can be topped off with our excellent desserts, natural fruit juices, and exquisite wine and drink options. All prepared by our certified chef and award-winning mixologist. Come to Panda River Restaurant and River Rum Bar to relax in the pool or use our excellent conference facilities combined with great dining.
A diamond in the jungle.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the Split the Bill button where he selects the Evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Last night, we told you that the ADO buses from Mexico are coming back to Belize. As we reported, Cabinet has also approved the return of Fuente del Norte and ADO bus services. ADO buses will provide runs from Belize City to Merida and Cancun starting May 1st. Fuente del Norte will provide services from Belize City to Flores and Guatemala City starting April 21st. We caught up with Rodwell Ferguson, the Minister of Transport, earlier today.
Those buses were active in Belize before COVID. After COVID, the borders were closed, so they couldn't come back to Belize. And ever since I became the Minister of Transportation, they are trying to come back. But I was trying to figure out how it can be reciprocal, where we go and they come. Eventually, the Ministry of Tourism is saying that the country is being affected tourism-wise and hotel-wise because these buses are bringing the European tourists. So Cabinet had to make a decision and said, let's bring them back in for the benefit of the tourism industry.
Is this a reciprocal decision?
To a certain extent, because when we came back from Mexico about a month ago, they are saying that their policy that we can only go 20 kilometers into that country at this particular point in time. No. So right now, our buses can go to Chetumal and beyond 20 kilometers. We can't go beyond that.
But they could come to the entirety of our country?
Well, we are the smallest amongst the countries. We have less than 500,000 people. Mexico is about 140 million, Guatemala is about 16 million. So we need the benefit, what can benefit this country and get our economy going.
We've heard the back and forth between bus operators and the Ministry of Transport on the concerns they both have as they move towards reforming the public transportation industry. It is a yeoman's feat by any measure, but it's the mandate of the ministry. News 5 had a chance to speak with Chief Transport Officer Diane Vasquez to find out how that process is going with the bus operators so far.
An apparent saturation, and there is a need for the modification of schedule, which is some of the major items that we're currently looking at in this reform. And we will be going countrywide, consulting with these bus operators and continuing the conversation to look at what routes are redundant, what routes would need to be amended, how do we begin improving the efficiency of the industry and providing a better quality of service to the bus operators. For the North, we've been engaging with these bus companies, and they have, many of them, they've expressed to us that they will be joining and becoming a cooperative so that they could better manage their schedule or have like a rotational schedule that works. Of course, it's a very dynamic situation, and it is one that will require extensive consultation to be able to chart a clear path forward, and it is what we are currently engaging in and what we're going to do. So we have a mandate to fulfill, and a deadline, a very tight deadline. So we are committed to working with the local operators, and we will be going out there, meeting with them one-on-one and listening to their concerns. And together we'll try to figure out, how can we overcome some of the barriers. Like I tell all operators, as the government or as the regulator, it is our job to ensure that we create that infrastructure, that enabling environment for them to thrive. But we can only do so much. They have to meet us halfway, and we're committed and willing to put in the work, and we will be reaching out to all operators, north, south, east, and west.
One of the recurring issues that the Transport Department is trying to address is the overcrowding on buses. But Vasquez says the department simply doesn't have the resources to man the entire country, but that they focus on the main areas where overcrowding is frequently reported. The Chief Transport Officer said the hope is that when the new policies such as mandatory ticket sales to manage proper seating are introduced and fine-tuned, they will ensure that bus operators adhere to the rules of the road.
We have to rely a lot on the operators to do their part in assisting us manage the situation. We can only do so much as a department, and we are pouring our resources out on the highway, and we recognize that we are very limited with our resources, and that was why we started engaging with the police department to see how we can combine our efforts to extend our reach. And so The police department, they've been very helpful in working with DOT, and they've been very helpful in sharing their resources and in ensuring that we have presence on all the national highways. We can't reach every corner of the country, but what we have been doing is we've been looking at the data to see where are the hot spots for infractions, for infractions and these violations. And so we've been concentrating our efforts in these areas, the junction, to try and manage the situation. So we are trying our very best to reach everyone, and it is our hope that after we put the necessary infrastructure in place and the necessary reforms in terms of the policies, updating the legislation, this will make a difference, and we won't have to entirely rely on just enforcement.
As part of the reform, the Transport Department has also been putting in infrastructural upgrades. The bus terminal on West Collet Canal has been undergoing refurbishing for over a month. Vasquez says the inconvenience will last a little longer and that at the end of the day it will serve everyone better. She also hopes that passengers would also do their part and report situations where bus operators or their buses fall short of meeting the standards.
We've gotten a lot of feedback about the terminal infrastructure. I mean, in Belize City, we're currently working to upgrade that infrastructure to accommodate the buses. I know it's causing a bit of inconvenience at the moment, but we're almost finished with the upgrading, with the refurbishment of the terminal. Okay. So we hope that by upgrading these facilities, we're also doing our part in ensuring that we can properly hold these operators accountable when they enter our facilities. It's an entire system, and we have to be looking at it from different levels, and we can't be doing or taking piecemeal approach. I mean, transportation reform and upgrading, it's not only about the bus operators getting nicer buses, but it's also about us putting in that infrastructure that is needed in terms of the schedule, the routes, and even looking at an educational component for commuters, looking at changing their mindset and having them help us hold these operators accountable.
When we return, Junior Farmer of the Year says engaging in what you love keeps you happy.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better, you get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save? This is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
The Junior Farmer of the Year 2023 is 23-year-old Axel Perez of Cristo Rey Village, Corozal. Perez, a sixth form graduate, shared that he has had to make sacrifices to see successes, but also says that because he has found a level of peace and joy in farming, it is really not a means of income, but a hobby for him. The farmer told us how agriculture pulled him through one of his darkest moments in his young life. News 5's Marion Ali filed this report on the Junior Farmer of the Year.
If you visit the opening of the National Agriculture and Trade Show in the next couple of weekends, you'll likely see Axel Perez, this year's Junior Farmer of the Year. He owns and manages a 9-acre farm in Yochen Village next door to Cristo Rey, where he lives. He plants cabbages, carrots, onions, sweet peppers, and tomatoes, vegetables that he says are most in demand. But while this young sixth form graduate has had farming influences from an early age, it was a very dark moment in his life that made him discover the peace he needed to cope with life.
Well, actually, I was going through a bad stage of my life when I was 20 years, and I found a comfort right here in agriculture, and I have dedicated my 3 years right now, and I have seen good progress. But I'm trying to go more into other crops like the cauliflower and broccoli and pak choy and all that stuff to fulfill the market.
A regular day in the life of a farmer is what a challenging day would be for most of us, just by listening to Perez.
What we basically do in the mornings is to spray the weed, to do weed control, so our plants could grow in clean areas. During the period of 7 to 10, we try to, we do on our pumps, our water pumps for the irrigation system. So we water our plants like approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour. And throughout that period, we could add some fertilizers to our plants. We check our plants if we need to spray for, let's say, white flies, for the tomatoes, pests, or any fungi, and later we throw out the period of 5 to 6 or 4 to 6. We try to spray these plants because of these chemicals, which are hot. When we mix them with some fertilizer, it's hot. So we try to spray them at that time, so the weather is kind of cool.
Perez has not limited his skills to vegetables. His farm also produces honey.
At the moment I have 2 apiaries with a total of 12 boxes, and the rest I have it on another location. And due to this project, I started to do my own boxes, and well, I got into carpentry, and this is what gives me a bit of income.
But a lot of what Perez earns will need to be invested in different methods of farming because of climate change. His farm was not spared last onion crop.
Throughout this year, we had great loss in onions, whereby this change of weather affects greatly our production. So we have hopes on our onion, but as you could see, we have lost almost everything. So
what caused it? What about the climate?
Where it rains and the next day sunshine. That causes some crops to die.
Yeah. Perez is hoping that he could win a scholarship to broaden his horizons so he could return home and help farmers through his expertise.
Maybe it could be engineer agronomist or more into the business section. But yeah, I'm working right now to get a scholarship, some help for scholarship, and I'm in the process of it right now. Because I have seen many individuals going to study, but they come in the country and make it for their own benefit, and they left aside the farmers. Okay. So basically, the farmers need the help of these individuals because here out in the field we have tough times.
Perez's success proves that hard work pays off, and he encourages his peers that they can be as successful at whatever they make their career.
Start looking for what they like the most, because if you don't like something, you will never achieve what you want. So you have to engage in what you like, so it won't be a stress, and you will be happy every day.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Today, an electronic course was launched to train primarily teachers, but also other key stakeholders for the mandatory reporting of child abuse, human trafficking, and family violence. It is being implemented on the Teacher Learning Institution to build the capacity of teachers at the primary and secondary levels countrywide. It is being done through partnership between UNICEF Belize, Pathlight Belize, the Ministry of Education, and the National Organization for the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect. A News 5 team attended the launch, which was held at the Biltmore Plaza.
Within the context of gender-based violence, the persons most affected are our children. This partnership has been significant because it brought together expertise focused on strengthening the implementation of the mandatory response protocols, specifically addressing child abuse and child trafficking. NOPCAN provided the technical knowledge on child abuse and child trafficking. They've been working in this field for decades, and they know this issue inside and out. Pathlight provided expertise in teacher training, while the Ministry of Education accredited the training and placed it on the Teacher Learning Institute platform. The Ministry of Human Development led the way with providing the legislative framework and the strategic policy direction for this effort to be realized.
It was my ministry and myself way back about 20-odd years ago that actually passed the statutory instrument making the reporting of child abuse and neglect and trafficking mandatory. So imagine there's been all these years in between, but we have been working on it, and now the Pathlight and NGO are taking up the e-course to teach the teachers online, not only to be aware of the child abuse and or neglect or trafficking that is taking place, but give them the education to make sure that that happens. The mandatory reporting is for especially teachers, frontline workers, medical, but it doesn't mean that neighbors cannot help and that family members cannot help when we know about instances of child abuse and neglect and trafficking. So I want to encourage everybody, you don't have to call attention to yourself, it can be done discreetly, but where there is knowledge of any abuse, especially of children, women, anybody, please report.
The heart-wrenching story of a former employee of the Dorothy Menzies Child Care Center has taken the media by storm. Desiree Meggs is losing her vision and requires urgent medical attention, and is also struggling with her daughter to survive the challenging economic times. But Meggs has had trouble with getting her severance and gratuity for the past 2 years since she was deemed medically unfit to continue working as a foster mother. The Ministry of Human Development, under whom Meggs was an open vote worker, did process her paperwork. But where did the slip-up happen? Today, the media caught up with Minister Dolores Valderramos Garcia, who says that the case is being rectified.
I'm very sorry about it. I have contacted Ms. Meggs already this morning, and we're actually going to go and visit her. But I do want to say that I have offered an apology on behalf of the government because wherever the slip-up was, I think that because the lady worked for us at Human Development and the Dorothy Menzies Child Care Center, we really should apologize to her and make sure that this is corrected as quickly as possible. Like I say, the mix-up happened with, as far as I have been able to learn this morning, the mix-up happened with some of the paperwork not being in order when the papers went from my ministry over to the Treasury and then to the Public Service. So it's like we have to wheel and come again to make sure that everything is in order because she was an open vote worker. So I do accept some of the blame for human development, and for that I apologize. But we are working on it today, and we will try to sort this out as quickly as possible, certainly within the next 3 to 4 days, because clearly that should not happen to somebody who is now in dire straits with her loss of sight and other difficulties that she's going through. As a matter of fact, I will make sure that our families and our Women and Family Support Department, we will give her an immediate ex gratia payment to assist her with getting forward and going to the medical support that she will need.
The government of Belize is preparing to construct 2 new police stations in the Toledo East constituency. Earlier this week, Osmond Martinez, the CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, the Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, and Area Representative Mike Espat visited Bella Vista and Trio villages to assess the needs of these communities where security and safety is concerned. In Bella Vista village, where a small police substation already exists, it was agreed that the community is in need of a new police station that would be able to house several officers. In Trio village, the same was decided. Here is more from that visit in the south.
We are here exploring the opportunities to establish a police station here in Bella Vista under the CABE funds, no? And as such, Compol was here along with the area representative, Honorable Mike Espat, the chairlady of the village, and also our engineers from the Belize Integral Security Program, which is funded by CABE. The police station that Bella Vista presently has is a relatively small police station. It was built in the past when the village was relatively small and there wasn't any villages around Bella Vista. Now, when you look at Bella Vista, it went up from 800 persons to almost 10,000. That's the population.
We are looking at the expansion of police services within this area. As you would know that the Bella Vista area have expanded tremendously, and the one-man station we do have here is not serving the people of this village as much as we want them to be served where citizen security is concerned. And so we are looking at expanding our services in Bella Vista to put a police station with all the amenities as a sub-formation within this area. So the chair lady have discussed with us that this area we're currently standing on is a green area for the village council, and she is donating the area for police. And once we can get the process document through Ministry of Natural Resources, then we intend to meet with the Banana Growers Association, the National Gas Company, and FICE to see if they'll be able to contribute towards the construction of the police station. And then we're also looking at CABE.
So after completing that area, we are now in the village of Trio, where we have been getting some negative reports, bad behavior of some of the people in this area, and hence they need to put a police station. So that is what they also decided today, that selected an area along the main highway coming into this village, that they will construct a new police station, also with housing for 2 police officers.
Up next, Carifta gold medalist Dimitri Myers returns home.
And there was yet another mass shooting Friday night. Police have been narrowing down suspects. Meanwhile, the president will be meeting with the victims' families.
Just leave! I'm not leaving. You're pushing me.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where he selects the evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Earlier in the week, we told you about the 14-year-old Belizean American who stunned the Caribbean over the weekend with his gold medal performances at the 50th Carifta Games in the Bahamas. Well, Dimitri Myers and his father and coach, Gregory Myers, are in Belize. They arrived today to celebrate the 2 gold medal victories with fans and supporters at home. Myers is also here to compete in this weekend's National Track and Field Championship. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
This is his moment. The 1500 champion is now a double champion.
14-year-old Dimitri Myers has returned to Belize, having secured 2 gold medals at the 50th Carifta Game in the Bahamas. The gold medals were won in the boys under 17 1500 and 3000 meters races. Dimitri Myers and his father Gregory Myers arrived at the Philip Colson International Airport this afternoon to a waiting audience of supporters outside the departure area.
I feel amazing. It's really an honor to be representing not only Belize, but representing the people of Belize. And I feel really proud of myself, and I feel like I honor Belize really well, but I have more to come next year.
What went through your mind when you were standing on that podium draped with the Belizean flag draped over you? What went through your mind?
That I accomplished a lot, but I know that I have more in me, and next year is going to be not only me medaling, hopefully, but a bunch of people medaling, and that Belize is going to be here to stay for the Carifta Games. I've been training since I was in 4th grade, but For this, I haven't been training that long because I did cross country, then I did indoor. This is my first outdoor meet, so it's just been a little bit of speed work and then come here and medal.
Dimitri, have you always had this sense of confidence about you?
I wouldn't say this sense of confidence, but I've always been motivated to try and compete because I wouldn't say I would be scared to compete against anybody. I just feel confident and up against the challenge to try and compete and do my best. I think because my dad has said before that out of all of his cousins, he was the least talented. So I think that there is much more talent in Belize just sitting here not being used. And if we use it properly, there's a lot more to come. I'm really happy that this many people got to come and see me, but I want them to have a chance to participate in track too, and whatever makes them happy.
Minister of Sports Rodwell Ferguson was among the first to greet Myers and his father at the PGIA. We spoke with Minister Ferguson.
It's important. It is historic for the country of Belize. Dimitri is only 14 years old, so you have a very long way to go. And I want to give his father kudos for giving him all the time and the effort to make sure he had reached to this stage. Last year he won silver medal at the Carifta Games. This year he came back with 2 gold medals. So that's an important milestone for the country of Belize. And I think all Belizeans should applaud him for the great effort and run under the Belize flag. So I'm very, very happy and appreciative of it.
How do you think your ministry, the Sports Council, can contribute to his further growth and development and that of other young athletes? I don't know that much has been given to him by Belize in terms of the development he has up to this point.
Well, up to this point, I give his father all the credit. As a country, as a Ministry of Sports, every time I go in the year, I reiterate that we must provide more for sports and we can reach out to athletes. But gradually I can see government is coming together and make sure it increase the budget for sports. And Wednesday of this week coming, we are going to have a very important meeting at the National Sports Council to figure out how we can direct every activity towards the development of our athletes in this country. So I see a complete change in sports in next year too.
Myers then participated in a small motorcade through the streets of Belize City. A handing over ceremony was held thereafter at the National Sports Council's office, where the young athlete received a check for $2,000, land documents for a parcel of land, and a gift from the Belize Tourism Board.
Definitely he made us proud of what he has done. It showed that definitely Belizeans, athletes have much talent to grow and to do. We have seen different disciplines coming out of Belize and bringing in gold, silver, bronze medals, and Dimitri did an exceptional job because he didn't only bring 1 gold medal, but he brought 2 consecutive gold medals to this country. Dimitri, today you're in the presence of no other than the Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport, Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, and Minister Usher as well. You have representatives from BTB, both directors are here as well, who as well, because you made and put Belize on the map, have made Belize proud. So you have representation of BTB as well, and you have representatives from the DYS as well, the Youth Services, here to welcome you here in Belize. And the chairman of the National Sports Council is also here. So with that said, we would like to make our presentations to you, to thank you for putting us on the map and looking forward to ensuring that young people, young athletes follow in your footsteps.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Adelina Colonia. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.